around, get it nice and clean. And then I'm going to grab my paper towel. And what I don't want you to do, again, with the paintbrush, you have to be really gentle. Don't pull on it. Okay? Because that's going to pull out the little hairs, these little tiny hairs. So, you're going to go like this and pat it nice and clean and make sure that all the color's off. And then dip it in the water once again. And then you pick your green. And see how my green is nice and clean and keeps it from getting yellow on it, and it's going to keep me from getting all those colors mixed up and end up like this. So does everybody understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
Does anybody have any questions on it?
Don't mix the colors because they'll get mixed up into other colors.
Exactly. Don't mix the colors because they'll get mixed up. And you want to keep everything nice and neat because you want to keep using them, okay? Good job. All right, so I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Newton here, and he's going to start a lesson. We're going to do watercolor painting today.
Okay, today we're only going to use one color today to start. We're going to use one color. And we're going, since Christmas is coming up, we're going to do a snow scene, okay? Well, we may use two colors. We're going to use blue, and we're going to use black for sure. Normally we don't use black. But black is not really a color, okay? So it's basically one color. So you're going to have your paper this way on your table, and once you lay your paper on the table, don't move it, don't twist it around, because you need to be able to see your paper and, at one angle. When you start moving your paper around, you start getting things all skewed and out of proportion. So this is called landscape. The long way, horizontal way, is called landscape. Because usually when you're painting an outdoor scene, that's called a landscape. So I'm going to turn on back to Mr. Cabrera's demonstration. So arrange your paper on your table directly in front of you, the landscape way. Have you done that? Yes?
So landscape.
Okay, so this landscape, this scene is out of my head, so we're going to create it together. And I want this to look sort of three-dimensional. Anybody know what 3D means, three-dimensional?
Yes. 3D is like it's not flat.
True. That's right. Anybody can expound on what you just said? What else is 3D, three-dimensional? Okay, it's like it has height, width,
See Javon Weatherton, please, for tutoring. Javon Weatherton for tutoring. Anita to the front, please. Miss Anita to the front.
So we're going to do a landscape that sort of looks like you can walk into it, okay? To do this, we're going to you're going to have to pay attention, pay close attention now. So I'm always looking for your eyes. Don't get distracted, because the only thing that should interest you is what's happening right here. Okay, what they're doing don't matter. What I'm doing is what matters right now. Okay. So pay close attention. Don't make these marks. I'm gonna make some marks to show you something. When you dip your brush into your paint could either be thick or thin, opaque or transparent. Opaque means thick, transparent means thin. make the paint thin by adding more water. Let me show you the difference.
Attention fourth graders, where are you located?
Okay, so what I'm doing is I have my brushes down, and I'm stirring my brush into the blue paint. I want it to be thick. So if you can see this mark, that's a thick blue mark there. Notice I turn my brush over. I get the paint off one side of the brush, turn the brush over, and get the paint off the other side. I don't just keep brushing on one side. I also don't brush like this, brush down, then back against it. Because when you brush in one direction, you lay the paint down. When you brush back in the opposite direction, you take the paint back up. So if you're painting like just rubbing the brushing into the paper, then you won't be getting anywhere. But see how thick that paint looks?
Yes.
Can everybody see this?
Yes.
Now I'm going to use blue again, but I want it to be thin. So this time I loaded my brush up with water. I dip it in the paint. So this blue is watery now. Now make a stroke, and you see it's not as thick. But we're going to use a little bit of this, a little bit of that, but now I want it even thinner. I want to see the paper through my blue paint now. So with watercolors is the hardest paint to use. It's harder than any other painting technique. So you really have to pay attention. Now that's too thick. This is too much like that, so I don't like that. So I'm going to put more water on it. I took some paint up on purpose. And now I can see the paper through it. You see the difference? Now, for your information, everybody looking at me, you have to learn how to focus, especially when we're doing art. You can't let anything that's none of your business distract you, because now you're not going to know what we're doing. So if I see you not paying attention, that's not good for you, okay? So I can even make it thinner if I want to. So this could be daytime. That could be daytime. You can see the white of the paper is showing through from underneath the paint to make it light blue. This could be nighttime. This could be dusk. Or this could be midnight. Okay? So if you're trying to paint a day sky, you might want to use this or that color by adding more water. Everybody understand what I just said?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So just imagine it has snowed in Chattanooga, and maybe you're out in the woods somewhere, and there's going to be snow drifts. So the sunlight hits the snow, and everywhere there's a little shadow, it's going to look like light blue. You can pick up your brush now. Pick up your brush and dip your brush in the water, and dip your brush in the blue, but I want very thin paint. So you need a lot of water in your brush. Now watch me. Watch me. The first mark I'm going to make, everybody's eyes should be up here. Everybody's eyes up here. I shouldn't see the back of nobody's head. I'm going to do a line going from the left-hand side. I can tell right now the paint is too thick here. I can tell by that little mark I made, so I'm going to dip my brush in the water to make the line very thin. I want the line very thin. That's still not thin enough, so I'm going to dip my brush in the water. I'm going to make a line that comes down like this and curve to the other side of the paper. Just like that. It's like almost like an S curve. Go ahead and do that. Make sure the line is very light. That means you need a lot of water in the brush. If your line is dark, you have to pay attention to what you're doing. Then that means put more water in your brush. Put more water in your brush.
What you got?
This glue is mixed.
No, it's
Put
not.
more water in your brush.
Keep it going? Okay.